The following presentation outlines the research and design process behind the construction of a lighting concept designed in response to the essay. What is the impact of colour on the learning environment, and how can it impact on behaviour and attitudes to learning? In investigating this topic, relevant points were brought to light in relation to the learning environment, the impact of colour on psychological, emotional and behavioural aspects, and the impact of colour in the learning environment. By re-examining these contexts, a basis of knowledge was established, and possible areas to which a lighting concept could cater were identified. In relation to the learning environment, it was found that effective educational settings could foster learning and positive attitudes towards learning, identification, and engagement. Physical qualities of learning environments such as air quality, lighting, temperature, and colour can have an effect on students' engagement, attendance, and well-being. In relation to the impacts of colour, it was found that colour has psychological and behavioural effects, carries specific meanings, and evoke evaluative processes which produce motivated behaviour in automatic and subconscious fashion. In relation to the psychological and behavioural effects of colour, it was found that colour can influence estimation of temperature, weight, size, distance, time, and noise levels. Cool colours such as blue induce relaxation and pleasure, are perceived as restful and quiet, should be used to enhance performance on creative tasks, and encourage innovative approaches to problem solving. Warm colours, including yellow and red, are considered active, stimulating, and arousing. Red, because of its associations with danger and mistakes, can activate an avoidance motivation and make people more vigilant and risk-averse. Red can also enhance performance on detail-oriented tasks and encourages traditional methods of problem solving. In relation to the learning environment, the research showed that classrooms should incorporate a variety of colours based on age, subject, and activity. Colour can increase school pride, reduce disruptive behaviour, aggression, vandalism, and absenteeism, and provide a supportive background for the activities being performed within schools. The research shows that a more specific and considered application of colour and light in educational facilities can be exploited. The design objectives developed from the outcomes of the research were to use the effective qualities of colour and light in order to enhance the learning environment and promote the critical needs of both students and teachers in order to elicit positive learning and teaching outcomes. The Enlighten Cube is a portable lit object which uses both colour and light to achieve these aims. The Enlighten Cube works on several fronts. It uses subtle colour meanings and associations to produce specific behavioural and attitudinal responses from students. The colour emitted by the light is in direct correlation to the task being performed by the students. For example, for a task requiring the class to engage in group work, the light is set to a warm colour to activate increased interaction and arousal, and for a task requiring creative thinking, the light would be set to blue. The light also acts as a time management device for both students and teacher. As the remaining allocated time of the task decreases, the intensity of the light increases. This indicates to students that the task is ending and they should conclude their work. This also indicates to the teacher when to prepare students to move on to the next activity. As the class progresses to the next task, the intensity of the light decreases and changes to the next task colour. The colours attached to different tasks work to establish a colour task association over time, so students can anticipate the nature of their next activity. The teacher can pre-program the Enlighten Cube to work in conjunction with a set lesson plan, or alternatively, control the light directly via the remote. The Enlighten Cube is designed for use in middle school classrooms where the class is taught by one teacher. The Enlighten Cube measures 300 by 300 millimetres and is 1680.2 compliant. It is designed to co-function with the existing task lighting, preferably full spectrum fluorescent with UV supplements, and daylight that is present in the classroom. In order for the light to be seen in bright task lighting, the light utilises high Kelvin RGB LCDs. The colour rendering index of the light is low, as the light is not designed to illuminate the surroundings, but rather is a lit object. The light takes the form of a cube to convey its functional purpose and is inspired by the cube as a shape associated with learning. The Enlighten Cube exists within the 5 layers of lighting. It is an example of a layer 3 light. It helps to create the experience of the room. The Enlighten Cube also helps users to make sense of their environment and surroundings, in this case on a psychological and emotional level. The Enlighten Cube helps to address the critical needs of users. For students, it produces positive learning outcomes and a positive learning environment by aiding students in completing classwork and set tasks. This can induce positive feelings associated with the completion of tasks, which have impacts on pride, confidence, motivation, and satisfaction. This can have a positive influence on students' social relations within the classroom and the wider school. The Enlighten Cube can also reinforce feelings of security, nurturing, and familiarity associated with school, which are fundamental in creating a positive learning environment. For teachers, the Enlighten Cube provides an important teaching tool by helping the teacher to direct students' attention to the task, time the lesson accurately, and prepare the students for the next lesson of the day. The Enlighten Cube is desirable as it allows colour and light to be applied to the learning environment to produce specific learning outcomes. This technique is rarely employed within educational settings. The Enlighten Cube could form a pioneering product in the application of colour and light in the learning environment, which could lead to further interest and investigation within this field.